Hi, my name is Mohammed Fahad. I'm a postgraduate from University of Sussex, UK. I did my masters in aerospace technology. Today I'm going to give a presentation on finite element analysis. Before proceeding to the main topic, let me discuss a few topics about methods of solving any engineering problem and what are the procedures they involve. The first one basically is the methods to solve any engineering problem. There are three methods: the analytical method, numerical method, and experimental method. The analytical method basically is an accurate method of solving any problem. It results in 100% accuracy, but it's only applicable for problems that are very simple. For example, the cantilever, simply supported beams, etc. The numerical method, whereas it is based on approximation of results. It can be solved for using any real life problems. Even if a prototype is not available, you can use a numerical method to solve any given problem. But since it's an approximation method, it has to be cross-checked with hand calculations or theoretical calculations using either analytical or experimental method. The experimental method basically is a real-life solving problem. You need a prototype for it. The problem with this is very time-consuming and it requires an expensive setup to do such method. The numerical method is basically a place where any analysis follows. Basically, if you have finite element modeling or finite element analysis, boundary element method, finite volume method, or finite difference method. Each of these four analysis methods, they all are based on numerical method. So no matter what kind of methods you incorporate to use or solve any engineering problem, there are basically two procedures that you need to take care of. The first one is writing a governing equation for a given problem. That is, if you have any problem given, you need to write a given equation for it, maybe in partial differential format or Taylor series or any other given mathematical equation. Next, the mathematical solution has to be calculated for the written equation. So any of these steps, using these two steps, any of the mathematical methods to solve any engineering problem can be done. Now, main concern is numerical methods, because as it deals with finite element analysis. So what is a numerical method? Basically, numerical method is based on a discretization of integral differential equations. The first one, what happens is, the main basic concept is, if you have any system given, you need to discretize it with respect to limited number of points and then get the result for those points and calculate the result for the entire domain. So basically saying that you've got solution at your hand even before it is obtained, that is given an approximation, and hence it requires theoretical calculations for cross verification. Now, the numerical methods that are incorporated are in finite element analysis, boundary element method, finite volume method, and finite difference method. Boundary element method is very useful in solving acoustics and NVH problems. The thing with it is, it uses nodes and elements to solve any given problem, but as the name suggests, it is only dealt with the outer boundary of the domain given. The finite volume method, all CFD softwares are based on finite volume method. It is basic concept of considering it as a unit volume. Here, pressure, temperature, mass, areas are taken into consideration, and it is based on Navier-Stokes equations. The finite difference method is very similar to the above three, except that it deals with only partial differential equations and it uses Taylor series to convert the differential equation into algebraic equation to solve the problems. Coming to finite element analysis. Finite element analysis was basically used first in 1943 by R. Courant, who used this method to get an approximate solution for vibration systems. FEA consists of a model that is designed and analysis for getting a specific results. With the help of these results, it can either be optimized or a new prototype can be created. Finite element analysis basically uses a series of points or nodes which form a grid. A grid is nothing but a mesh. A mesh basically contains the data for material and structural properties, which can define how the structure behaves when the loading conditions are given. Now, I've been talking about a few things like what is discretization method. It is based on discretization. So what is discretization actually? If you consider all real life problems, they are nothing but continuous, which means there is no physical gap between two entities. For example, in material sciences, you've got particles that are made up of molecules of atoms, and so on. These are bounded together by a force of attraction. So solving a real life problem is difficult. So what numerical methods suggest that you need to discretize it, that is, discontinue the system. In simple words, nodes act like atoms, and the gap between them is filled with an entity that is known as the element. Elements are of quartz, triads that is known as quad or tria, penta, hexa elements. So another thing that we'll have to, so given that concept, we can say that steps for solving any analytical or numerical problem from a mechanical point of view, any system can be represented by either a mass, spring or a damper constant. Basically, the spring K is considered in FEA as an element which acts like a spring. It is connected by nodes to the other elements. So any deviation of that node will also affect the respective elements. Now, coming to degrees of freedom. So as I said, meshing, finite element analysis basically involves meshing. Meshing is a way of discontinuing a continuous system which has infinite degrees of freedom to finite degrees of freedom. So what are these degrees of freedom? Basically, if you consider a load here, any object that is constrained at one point and force is applied at this section, the point P deviates from its original position to P dash. So here it can be said that any point within this domain can be defined with respect to degrees of freedom. For example, if you have coordinates as into consideration, the coordinates that can define any entity within the space is known as a degree of freedoms. Basically, there are 6 degrees of freedom, 3 in translational, 3 in rotational, ux, uy, uz, and theta x, theta y, theta z respectively. So, thing is, elements can be defined with 6 degrees of freedom, but it's not like all the elements have 6 degrees of freedom. Basically, application of 6 degrees of freedom depends upon the type of element being used, that is 1D, 2D, 3D, or the type of element family being used, shell elements, membrane elements, etc. And also the type of analysis being used, that is linear, statics, dynamic, those kinds of analysis. Now, so how does discretization help in calculating the degrees of freedom? Basically, if you consider a quadrilateral like this, you've got nodes 1, 2, 3 and 4. The problem is the FEA uses a formula known as interpolation formula. With this, you can get the equations at 1, 2 and 3 and 4. The stresses or whatever type of analysis you are running, the data can be obtained for these particular nodes. But what about the points within this quadrilateral? Thing is, it uses an interpolation formula which is given as U A0 plus A1x plus A2y plus A3xy. So, the coordinates for x and y for one of the points can be substituted in this formula. The result for that particular point in the element can be figured out. So basically, this is what happens in FEA when it has to deal with any calculations done. It does the meshing. Meshing is then you send after the component has been meshed, it is sent to the analysis where the interpolation formula is used and the total result has been obtained. Once the results is obtained, it is then sent to post-processing where the analysis results are seen. So this was basically a few brief description of finite element analysis. Now I would actually like to talk to you about one of the small experiments that I conducted here in my training program for CAE Hypermesh. My main project was basically stress analysis of a seat belt clip. Now the figure basically shows how the seat belt clip was designed. The whole system was done in CATIA and it was imported in Hypermesh. It was the analysis file was run in ADOS and in ANSYS. Now as you can see, the belt was designed and it was the thing with belt is safety is a priority importance for any passenger sitting within the car. So the belt had to be connected in the plunger and it shouldn't move with respect to either X or Y in the transitional or rotational direction. So a force was given, Poisson's ratio was taken to be 0.3 and Young's modulus of 200 GPa. Thing is, once the basic conditions were known, we've created a quadrilateral mesh for the hip. Main consideration was done at the hole where the belt passes through and at the hole where the plunger fits into it. Quadrilateral mesh was basically chosen with as compared to trias because with trias they are less they are less stress. They are not flexible. Trias are basically not flexible, whereas quads is. So it gives you a more accurate result as compared to trias. So second order core elements were taken. Final mesh was tried to get at the regions near these two holes. Once the analysis was done, once the meshing was done, the boundary conditions were given as follows. The constraints were given at the small hole so that it doesn't move in either X or Y direction. It was fit into a plunger. The force was applied to the belt because even if the small jerk with the car, the belt pulls this part of the section and hence it tends to elongate. So once these boundary conditions were given, the analysis was run using various tests. The stresses in the belt were as follows. As you can see, there are more stresses towards this end, and at the corners of the belt there were more deformation formed. This was because as the belt moves in, it was constrained at this section, but then when the force was acting on this section, the pulling of the belt causes the deformation of these two parts. So this was a basic calculations done with the stress analysis for a seat belt clip. I thank you for giving time for explaining about finite element analysis in a small project on the seat belt. Thank you.